What's up, guys, gals, non-binary pals, none of the above? This is DL returning you with KSL Season 7 content, and your ears do not deceive you. It is not Deshaun on the mic this time. It is the Pokemon The Battle. The infamous music you may know from Blunder's videos, because that's the sort of energy we're bringing today. My boy Hydra was like, why does DL not record videos about my battles? And I was like, well, maybe if you played them after 5 Eastern, maybe I'd be able to cover them, because Hydra's European. You can see his time zone right there. However, I had to implement some self-discipline. I was like, okay, I won't watch your game when you play it at noon, even though I'm bored at work. Held off. It's now 5:03, and I'm recording, and it's time to watch this game, do this post-cop between Hydra and JustJake. Now, there's a lot of stakes in this game. We're at week 5 here. Hydra rolling out the big 4-0, currently in second place because he doesn't have the best differential. That belongs to Davo Wolf. And JustJake starting with the unfortunate 0-4, so he's fighting for his life this game. Jake loses this one, he's pretty much out of playoffs. Hydra wins this, he's pretty much locked in. So Hydra rocking this roster right here. Spectre, Terra Zapdos, Garchomp, Grimmsnarl, Bronzong, Quaquaval, Arcanine, Grafaiai, Go-Go, and Glalie. A lot of really cool Pokemon. Love the Glalie, the Go-Go. You got Big Quavo. Terra Zapdos basically counters whatever he wants it to. It's kind of nice. Garchomp would be a nice Terra mob, but I guess he couldn't really afford it, so he went with the Zapper. And yeah, Spectre is very much a Hydra Pokemon. So he's got a very nice and balanced team. Very interesting offensive options. Pokemon able to be offensive or defensive. Flexible ones like Zapdos, Garchomp, Grimmsnarl, all those. Arcanine as well, you can throw in that category. And he's got pretty good setup between like Calm Mind to Nasty Plot Spectre, ST Garchomp, Bulk Up Grimm, Quavo, I think it's Bulk Up and SD, even Bulk Up Go-Goat. Alright, and then we got Jake's roster right here. So he's made a few changes. I had to do Jake some justice too, because last time I tried to cover one of his games, the screen didn't record, but I can assure you the screen is recording now. So we got Hisuian Samurott, Terra Ape, that is Annihilate, not Primeape. We got the big boy, Torrentee, G-King, Florgs, Fortress, Appletink, Talonflame, Electros, and Gastrodon. So analyzing this matchup here. So Jake had to patch up a couple holes in his draft, had to get a real flying resistant Electros, because he didn't have any. He actually had truly zero before. He's got some better ground resist. He's got like Big Apple, picked up Talonflame, all the good stuff. Now in terms of how he's going to deal with the Spectre, he's only got one Ghost Resist, and it's Hisuian Samurott. He can maybe tear his Annihilate to deal with the Spectre, but Spectre looking very scary. I think looking at this, Sub-Wisp Hex look like a really strong set, able to deal with things like Florgs, Fortress, potentially Gastrodon, Electros. There's a lot of really bulky Pokemon going in here. Obviously, you could always see a spec set coming, but maybe something like a Florgs to be able to take that on. I think Subway's Hex looks very, very annoying, especially because Jake's Ghost Resist is a physical attacker. In terms of how he deals with stuff like Zapdos, Electros can definitely stomach it, but I don't think Electros can afford to run like a Rest Talk set in order to have the longevity. So something like a U-turn Zapdos, just chipping the Electros down can be very annoying. His only potential Wish Passer is like a Florgs as well, which I don't think has the best matchup into this team. Garchomp also very, very scary. Jake doesn't have the best ground resist. He's got the Appleton, but obviously it's weak to Dragon. Stone Edge, deletes Talonflame. So he's got like potentially like a Fizdef Electros maybe to be the ground check. The Garchomp isn't Terra, so it does make it a little more predictable, easier to check. Maybe a Fizdef Tornadus T could deal with it. Who knows? But that's also not Terra. So yeah, I think the Hydra's Big 3 definitely should make an appearance here. In terms of the stuff that Jake's bringing that's scary, Terra, Annihilate, continually just run through teams with stuff like Bulk Up and then Terra to take on faster Pokemon that are especially offensive. I would definitely expect him to Terra into something not weak to Ghost. The Spectre looks like the clear revenge killer. But yeah, him being able to Bulk Up to avoid taking super effective, huge hits from stuff like a Grimmsnarl or a Garchomp could be very, very nice for him. Alright, I think we gotta turn this volume down a little bit. Just a little bit. Alright, that should be better, I think. Alright. Talonflame, I don't think has too hot of a matchup here, and stuff like the Zapdos. Zapdos is very annoying Pokemon, especially because he can Terra and beat whatever he wants. In terms of his other threats, I mean, Hisuian Samurott, I think Ceaseless Edge looks very, very spammable here. Hydra's Dark Resists are like the Grimmsnarl and Quaquaval. Yeah, and Grimm doesn't take the water moves the best. Quaquaval does resist the dual stab, but something I learned recently is that Sharpness, Hisuian Samurott's ability, actually boosts Air Slash, which Hisuian Samurott does get, so see if he packs that tech for the Quavo. Hisuian Samurott does have a very serviceable, like 100 special attacker, so. In terms of other threats, I mean, I think Gastrodon's very, very sturdy. Can help him deal with the Zapdos for sure. Probably gonna have to come for the Zapdos, in fact. Can maybe pack like something like Clear Smog for Spectre, but that's another reason why like a Subwist Hex set would be very valuable. I could definitely see Specs as well, though. But I wouldn't expect like a Calm Mind set or anything like that. The Galarian Slowking also a very good pivot into the Zapdos. And Torn T, I mean, Hydra has very, very good flying resist with things like the Zapdos and the Bronzong. So Torn not the best offensively here. So I think Hydra definitely has the matchup advantage based off of everything we're looking at here. But Jake should have the tools to win. Alright, let's go to team preview. Alright, so it looks like JustJake 1116 brings Hisuian Samurott, Tornadus T, Terra Ape, Talonflame, Gastrodon, and Galarian Slowking. The Hydra bringing the Spectre, Garchomp, Zapdos, so those are the big three. He brings Quavo, brings Grimmsnarl, so probably gives him another bulkier Dark Resist, and he brings Grafai, so we're seeing Quavo potentially a Rapid Spinner to remove the Hisuian Samurott spikes from Ceaseless Edge. It's probably its main role here. It can also potentially break through Gastrodon because unlike in UU, Gastrodon can't Terra Ghost here to avoid getting smoked by close combat. Definitely has a powerful offensive presence in this matchup as well. And then the Grimm, I'm very curious what the Grimmsnarl is going to do. You know, he does have this Defiant Annihilate, so very interesting. He brings both of his Prankster Parting Shot mons. I would expect maybe Grafai is rocking U-turn or something along those lines instead. And of course, Hisuian Samurott being a Dark type also immune to the Prankster Parting Shot. Let's go ahead and look at the Terra types because this is Terra preview. Okay, so Hydra's Zapdos is Terra Dark. Very interesting. Maybe designed to take on the Hisuian Samurott better. Maybe to take on like a Rage Fist. I'm not sure, but he'd be weak to fighting from the Annihilate. So very interesting choice. And then Jake on the Annihilate brings Terra Normal. So definitely a measure designed against the Spectre. Spectre's main moves being Shadow Ball, Draining Kiss, and Dark Pulse. So this way he becomes immune to Ghost while not being weak to Draining Kiss, which is its usual coverage move to hit Dark types. Alright, so we got the Grimmsnarl versus the Talonflame. We see Prankster T-Wave off the rip. Talonflame exchanges prisoners and throws up the Wisp. See him go into Chomp, and as he goes into Gastrodon. Earthquake puts up 51, but Ice Beam does 81. Gastrodon shows the leftovers. As Garchomp gets up Rocks as Gastrodon recovers. Ooh, nasty crit. That should be the end of Chomper though. Doesn't look like Jake brought any removal, so these rocks are going to be up for good. Hopefully the Talonflame's wearing some lovely boots. Maybe the Torn as well. But yeah, those rocks are forever. In comes the Spectre. The Gastrodon is down to 27. So be able to pick up that KO. Probably doesn't reveal anything about his set, and he gets the Grim Neigh boost. So here comes the Annihilate. So I imagine he's going to go for the Terra straight away here. Not boots, evidently. Goes to the Terra and Drain Punch on the Grafai. So reads the switch, but goes for the Terra anyways. Gets rid of covers all his options there. Grafai takes a big 60 from that Drain Punch. And that being Drain Punch and not CC, definitely an indication that this is probably not like a Scarf Annihilate. Probably is like a bulk up set. Alright, here comes the Grimm coming in on the Drain Punch. Takes 39 and reveals to be Rocky Helmet. Now it is burnt, but it does have Prankster T-Wave, so it's kind of scary here. So he goes into the Talonflame, which is already paralyzed. Good play. Continues to take that chip from the burn. Talonflame, oh, at Talonflame, I forgot, actually kept defog, so the rocks are not forever, and the rocker is dead. So pretty decent start for Jake. Kind of annoying that the Talonflame is paralyzed, but it is a support Talonflame, it would appear, based off of these first two moves. So not the worst thing in the world. Should be rocking some bulk then. Zapdos shows the Volt Switch. Talonflame takes a whole juicy 84 and gets full parried. Spectre reveals the Dark Pulse and picks up the KO. In comes the Hisuian Samurott, which misses Ceaseless Edge on the incoming Grimmsnarl. That is unfortunate. But he manages to pick up the KO with Aqua Cutter, so to show it's not choice locked. Alright, so 2 for 2 on turn 14. Yeah, I'd say right now, I mean basically everything's at 100% right now, except for the ape that took a little bit of damage to her helmet. So that's interesting. We'll see if the Zapdos elects to Terra Dark at some point here. But here comes the Quavo. Natural counter to Hisuian Samurott. It just goes for the U-turn on the incoming Galarian Slowking. Brings the Grafaiai out. Just goes for a knock. Shows Cobra Berry on the Galarian Slowking, which is able to take out the Grafaiai with a Psychic. Now 4 for 3 for Jake, but this Spectre definitely looking very scary. With potential bulky Talonflame out the way. He doesn't have to worry about Gale Wings, Brave Bird, or anything like that. And the Gastrodon went down super early. Alright, as he hard switches into the Hisuian Samurott on Wisp. So yep, Wisp is brought. It's probably to neutralize this Hisuian Samurott. Ceaseless Edge only does 13, but does get up a spike. This Quavo goes for another U-turn. So he is not spinning. So maybe he's a potentially choice Quavo. Would make a lot of sense to have U-turn on a choice set. Maybe Scarf potentially. Looks like it could have a pretty good matchup into these Pokemon. Goes back into this and picks up the KO with Shadow Ball. In comes the Ape. Just goes hard for the Rage Fist. He has not taken any hits yet. And the damage is from Rocky Helmet, and unfortunately eats a static right away. Oh, but he's got the Lumberry. Paralysis gone. Goes for another Rage Fist. Only does 25. Up, but now he's got the boost. Now he is confirmed faster than the Zapdos now as well. So probably is a physically defensive Zapdos. So that's good information as well. Maybe we could see Annihilate actually pull off his endgame. Now he is, however, weak to fighting now. So if this is Scarf Quavo, close combat's looking pretty deadly. Probably going to go into the Torn. As he goes hard for the Wave Crash, takes 27 to recoil. So he doubles into Hisuian Samurott and presuming it's Scarf, and that still does a big 39. This thing is burnt. He goes for the Ceaseless, does 19 to the Zap, another spike up. The Zap just goes for the Roost. And he misses another Ceaseless Edge, doing his best Poke-Aim MD impression. That's what people were saying when Jake started his draft with Hisuian Samurott and Annihilate. And yeah, just like Joey's Samurott, he's missing the edges. Gotta love a Pokemon that misses all its moves. As he just goes for Aqua Jet to try to get some chip before he goes down to Hurricane. Torn. Flings a Poison Barb to the Zapdos to poison it and just dies to the Volt Switch. So it is Annihilate versus the world. And if this is Scarf Quavo, it is over. And it appears that is the case. Congratulations to Hydra for winning this game. Most likely secure his spot in the playoffs. Unfortunate loss for Jake. Probably out. Well, thank you all for joining. Hope you enjoyed a little shift in the energy. Bringing that Kenergy, you know how it is. And Beach is my job.